feel like millennials for a while now have been getting trolled on social media for their fashion trends. But this
fashion trends.
Oh.
I mean, we're millennials.
Our fashion trends? Fine. Okay, whatever.
Leaders from Asheville and Buncombe County.
From the newsroom to the nursery.
We're juggling a demanding career on live TV with the demands of motherhood.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Karen.
They are AnchorMoms.
All right. What was that?
Action.
And cue. It's like you scared me.
Sorry.
Karen just aggressively cued me.
Go. Start.
Okay. Hey, I wanted to give you guys a Helene house update just because I feel like I've sort of talked a little bit about it here.
Yeah, it's been a minute since you've given a podcast update.
Yeah. And everywhere I go, people are like, "How's your house? Like, what's going on with your house?" And I'm like, nothing. There's still a hole in the roof. It's still tarped. But there is some progress. So in addition to having to do a bunch of repairs just because half the back of the house is destroyed from a tree that fell, we're going to do a little addition. We've been wanting to do a little remodel and addition for a long time. And of course, now Mother Nature just sort of made the choice for us. Like, it only makes sense to go, you're not going to bust into your house again. So we're going to go ahead and do it. And because of that, we had to hire an architect because, of course, we're adding square footage to the house. And we've been waiting many talks with this architect, who I love, by the way. He's great. But, he's busy. Half of Asheville, by the way,
is doing this,
is repairing their homes, all that sort of thing. So this week, in fact, just yesterday, we got the final drawing from the architect. So now we're ready to submit to our contractor and get things started. And it's exciting.
Yeah. It's going to look so good.
It still feels like a very long way away and feels very daunting. We're still using a utility sink. We still have no dishwasher. Yesterday, we had bad storms here in Asheville, and the tarp blew off the roof and flooded what used to be our kitchen, but now it's just subfloor and a couple of old cabinets in there. So we had to have Serve Pro come back out. Now we have, fans and construction equipment again in our house. So it's been interesting. The adventure continues, but now we're finally starting to talk about tile and zero gravity bathrooms. Brian was like, "What do you think about this?" And I was like, "Wait, what even is that?"
Where there's no curb on the shower.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, okay. All right." Where do we put transom windows? What kind of appliances we want? What are the cabinets? So we are finally one step closer. We were kind of in a holding pattern here for, honestly,
months.
It'll be 6 months here at the end of March since Hurricane Helene hit. And honestly, we have it much better. We do stories every day on the news of people who continue to struggle here in Asheville, who have no insurance, who have no home, who are working to rebuild businesses and their lives. So, in regards to that, I feel lucky.
Yeah, it is crazy that we're coming up on 6 months. We're doing, of course, a lot of stories about this 6-month anniversary, and it's unbelievable how some places you can't really tell or maybe have cleaned up, but then you go to some of these communities and it still looks just as bad as it did 6 months ago. It's unbelievable. So it's a slow recovery. And, I think a lot of people are in your boat. They're starting to get the insurance money coming through. They're starting to get the contractors lined up. They're starting to rebuild. I feel like just anecdotally around where we live, you're starting to see, we have literally there's a crew at every other house in our neighborhood right now. It's oh yeah, they're fixing their roof. Okay. They're fixing this. They're, so I think the work is finally starting to happen, but it is a slow process.
It's a slow process. And I just, everywhere you travel or a lot of the places you travel, even if the houses look okay, you kind of look on the side of the road, you look where the river is and it is still, just trees uprooted, trees broken, places that the river never used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is a river. So yeah, it just the recovery continues here in Western North Carolina. When we moved back into our house, of course, we moved out for a couple of weeks after Helene, just because we were struggling to get the tree off our roof and to tarp things and figuring out, what was damaged and what wasn't. And then we moved back in, and I was so thankful. And now I'm starting to get to that place where I'm like, okay, we need to I'm sick of this. Like, I'm sick of using the utility sink. We're using camp tables. I really can't cook. I just,
and we should say you're going to move out again when the renovation happens.
The plan is to move back out again. Just because we're taking down, walls aren't plumb anymore. The ceilings need to be replaced in several places. So I suppose we could, if we tried really hard, live there, but the contractors are recommending, don't try to do it. It'd just be miserable. So anyway, we'll
progress.
Keep you posted. Yeah.
It's exciting.
Progress.
Our first article today comes from today. Congresswoman flew to D.C. with a 4-week-old to vote on a bill. You probably have seen this in the news recently. This is Representative Brittany Peterson. She's from Colorado. So I didn't realize this. Proxy voting happened during COVID. This is when you can vote on legislation without actually being in person in DC. You can vote from home, from your home city. Well, apparently that went away in 2022. They stopped that. So now you have to be there to cast your vote. And also didn't realize Congress makes no accommodations for new parents. So this woman, who I just think, wow, I can't imagine doing this with a 4-week-old, but she flew to DC from Colorado to cast her vote. Or to place her vote. Sorry, not her vote. Her,
Yeah. They were voting on a budget bill. Yeah.
Right. They were voting on this big budget bill, and she wanted to be there in person so that she could weigh in on what she felt like her constituents wanted.
She would not be able to vote.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, but it's super powerful. She's holding her 4-month-old baby with her when she kind of addresses Congress and makes her statement. And it's just unbelievable. That one of the quotes in the article says, "Nobody fights harder than a mom." And it really just resonated with me that, wow, this woman not only cares so much about her role as an elected official, but she also is willing to, 4 weeks postpartum. I don't even think I could put clothes on at that.
Yeah.
You're just so out of it after you have a baby. But the fact that she traveled, flew on a plane, had her baby with her, it's just unbelievable. I think it's really cool to see.
Yeah. And this article says, so she is a Democrat, Brittany Peterson is, but she is working together with Anna Paulina Luna, who is a congressional representative from Florida. She's a Republican. They're working together to shore up bipartisan support to allow new mothers to vote remotely for 6 weeks while they recover from birth. So it's kind of nice to see that there's a bipartisan push to sort of make it easier on new parents.
This was so hard to watch that she had to do this. And then for them to actually say, wait, this is an issue. Let's try to fix it.
Right.
Really proud of her for taking that step. And I think it was just a good wake up call for all citizens that, we didn't know that this was something that I remember I thought that you could still do the proxy vote, right? From during COVID. I didn't realize it had gone away a couple of years ago. So, great job, Brittany, for leading the way there.
Yep. All right, I have a
Mama Mums.
Okay, I sort of discovered these accidentally. I'm a big fan of hair clips, what do you call
Claws.
it? The claws. Thank you. The claws. I like a little barrette here and there. And my favorite brand is called Chunks.
Okay.
CHUNN. It's funny. CHUNKS, but I've seen it spelled elsewhere on the website. But we'll post this in our
show notes.
And they just have really fun, different kind of clips. They're sort of whimsical. Some of them are fruit. I have a black and white checked one. I have a flower one, and they run from $9 to $25. So the bigger clips are $25. The 9 or some of those tiny, a pack of clips. Yeah. So not certainly more expensive than what you would buy at Walgreens, but they're not crazy expensive. They have a website, but you can also get them. I think I originally got them on Sephora. They sell them on Sephora as well, but they're fun and interesting. And honestly, I've thought about getting River some just because like the colors are fun and they're sort of playful. And so if you're into that kind of stuff, or if you're looking for something a little different other than, what you can buy at the drugstore or at Target, I would recommend these.
Love it.
Okay. The next article comes from Newsweek, Why Gen Z Loves Mocking Millennial Coded Fashion, Experts Explain. So this is not something that we're also, I feel like millennials for a while now have been getting trolled on social media for their fashion trends. But
fashion trends.
Oh.
I mean, we're millennials.
Our fashion trends? Fine. Okay, whatever.
Although I will say not you probably because you're trendier than most millennials. But continue, please.
I don't know. Millennials can be trendy.
Well, this is what this article is all about.
Can
we?
I know. I thought this article was so interesting, and it sort of talks about, first of all, people, the younger generations have been trolling the older generation for years, but I think it's much more obvious now because of things like TikTok and Instagram, right? Like people are doing it in such a visible, obvious way. But this article talks about how, when millennials were coming up per our previous conversation about cell phones and Facebook not really being, the last podcast we talked about how like you had to log onto your desktop to like get onto Facebook. So social media wasn't really there when we were growing up. You were looking at fashion magazines, Teen Bop, you were looking at TV shows. There wasn't really a way to sort of see how to make things individual. There wasn't these like micro trends that happen now because those all take place on social media. And so millennials are kind of dressing about, millennial style is less about showcasing personality through individual pieces than about dressing to fit in with a community. So they talk about the boho style of millennials, or there was like another one that I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I don't know. I feel like when I was growing up, like the grunge rocker girl was like a popular thing. And it was like how you sort of declared like, okay, I'm a boho girl. I'm like a grunge girl. I'm like a prep girl. And it like sort of showed how you fit in with a community. Whereas Gen Z is more focused on comfort, self-expression, and individuality. And a lot of that, of course, is expressed through social media. So think about millennials like skinny jeans, ankle socks, and peplum tops, or they're also defined by wearing, and I was kind of like, is this true? Wearing business casual attire regardless of the event. So blazers at bars and clubs, heels at the mall. Millennials prioritize flattering clothing. Gen Z more interested in pieces that are interesting rather than conventionally flattering, like textures, baggier silhouettes, and experimental layering. And so it's like, when you're Gen Z and you look at these millennials, it's like,
yeah,
you all are wearing the same thing, right?
I thought this was a good, some good insight into the differences. We all know that Gen Z makes fun of millennials for our fashion and, millennials made fun of boomer. It's a very generational thing. But I thought this was so fascinating how they broke it down into how and why we dress the way we do and how that's different from Gen Z, what you just went through, like in terms of interesting versus flattering. Did you pop your collar? Did you wear like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever wear two and pop both collars?
Yes.
Same.
I had like 65 pairs of Doc Martens because I felt like those were super cool in middle school and high school. I mean, I definitely was like all in on the skinny jeans. And yeah.
The peplum tops, I did those.
Yeah, like the going out tops. I remember wearing like heels to bars like in college.
I do, and this is all over social media now, but I do remember there was like such a big push in college, I feel like day to night, like how to wear this outfit to work and then go straight to the club.
Right.
Which Did we ever do that?
No.
No.
I don't
Why
think
was
so.
that like a whole fashion situation?
I don't know, but that was like what every 17 article was about.
And
Yeah.
like the stores like Express and all those stores would be like, here's how to convert this to this.
Right. And there was always a blazer involved, by the way, with
You know
like
what's
a going
funny?
out shirt underneath.
But I still have my stack of blazers in my closet from literally like my first and second jobs that are, of course, now blazers are kind of back in. It is very interesting, the cycles.
Yeah. But like oversized blazers.
Right. Not the ones I have.
Right.
I haven't brought those out.
Right. Right. Is your phone talking to you?
My phone just randomly started talking. Excuse me.
Um,
What's going on here?
I feel this in that we've had this conversation before, is that my husband is always like, those jeans are like not cute, like not flattering at all. Like, how come like your jeans are like baggy? You know, they're like those wide leg jeans now, like the barrel jeans. Like I'm trying to keep up with like the Gen Zers. And it's like, it is true. I always say this, like, I'm never dressing for anybody else but myself, and certainly not my husband, because like if I were dressing for him or something that he thought was flattering, or other people, I feel like you'd wear like, you know, Victoria's Secret bathing suits and, you know, and I feel like now the style is to like, make it interesting. It doesn't
make it you.
Make it you. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
I hadn't really thought about the fact that we did dress like as a community. We all wore this. I mean, we didn't even know each other, and we had all the same things,
stuff.
You know, because we're about the same age. And how now I do think that, and I think it's good. I think it's better to dress for what you want, express yourself. I like dressing for comfort rather than flattery. It's funny. It was a recent episode. You talked about your barrel jeans. So then I was on a hunt for barrel jeans. And I didn't end up getting barrel jeans, but I did get some new wide leg jeans from, and it's funny to me because it mentions in this article, J. Crew. The J. Crew outlet here. But yeah, it was the same thing. I was like, oh, these are going to be great. And yeah, like men are like, why would you wear baggy clothes?
Right.
Like,
but you're like, oh, they're comfortable.
Yeah, they are more comfortable.
Gen Z, they're doing it right.
My mom even was visiting and said, oh, are those new jeans? And I said, yeah. And she said, oh, I'm so glad that the holes in the jeans are not a thing anymore.
I feel like I still have a couple of pairs.
I was like, well, yeah, those are on their way out. Yeah. It's funny. Okay, the next article is from People. A woman says she won't apologize to her fiance's mom for getting mad that she revealed their engagement online. This is an interesting back and forth. This is one of those where, you know, this woman kind of went to Reddit probably and kind of was like, is this my fault? Is this not my fault?
Yeah.
Online community, help me out here. So these people are in their 20s. They got engaged. They, of course, called their parents right away. And the mother-in-law, within 4 hours, had posted it on Facebook.
It's etiquette. It's like, it's just that I think people don't, like the older generation doesn't understand social media etiquette.
I think that's a big part of it. But the article also talks about, I mean, there was kind of people on both sides of this saying like, well, don't blame the mother-in-law. Like you should have maybe said, like, don't post this until we're ready. I totally understand the person who got engaged. She's like, I want to post like the good pictures. The mom posted like some blurry, terrible photos.
To steal your thunder. Like that's your news.
Right. And then, so it ended up that a lot of people were saying this is just a lack of communication. It made me laugh. I mean, my mom isn't even on Facebook. So like she wouldn't do that. But it is, I do think you're right though. I think there's a very like people a generation above us use social media and view it and see it in a much different light than we do. Yeah. Right. I mean, you know, it's just a different way of using it.
Well, so the funniest part about this article to me is then, so the
mother-in-law posts it.
And then her son calls and is like, Mom, you got to take it down. So then they get the professional pictures and, you know, post it to their own social media. And then the mother-in-law shares it. And this is what she says. The future daughter-in-law writes, it was totally okay that she shared it, but she began the new post with the phrase, if they'll forgive me, I'm excited. And then like went on to say blah, 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 blah. And of course, like the future daughter-in-law was annoyed about that.
Now she's like, why are you making this a big deal?
Why are you like doing this? And it is kind of like, this is where I would just say like, girl, this is your future mother-in-law. And if you think this is like the last time that you'll be like scratching your head over something that one of your in-laws did,
Mhm.
like buckle up, right?
Mhm.
Like this is just like the blending of families. And at this point, I feel like maybe the mother-in-law just like,
Is excited.
she's excited
Yeah.
and she
Mhm.
feels like, but
But I
it's a
also
little
feel like-
passive aggressive. It is a little passive aggressive.
But I also feel like in this day and age, if you make an announcement, like you have to say like, hey, don't post anything. Like, it's like when you tell people you're pregnant or whatever, and you're like, hey, like it's not out there yet.
Like you and I would never have to say that to each other. Like because we totally understand.
Right.
Like
you let
etiquette.
your person have their
like you would never like when you go to a wedding, you never post pictures of the bride until they post pictures, and then you're like, all right, post from their wedding, like congratulations to so and so. Like you just that's just.
But I don't think the older generation knows that.
I mean, trust me, I've had like
maybe there's a book. Should we write a book?
Is this a thing?
Online etiquette for boomers.
That probably exists.
Probably. I mean,
if it doesn't, it should.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a win-win-win?
I do have a win. It feels really awkward now after after your opening story there.
What's my
your renovation?
Yeah. Oh, you're having
a renovation. We are
renovation.
also having a renovation.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Helene, and now I feel guilty that we're doing this. But our master bathroom, which is very tiny, and I'm not exaggerating. Katie has seen pictures. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you. That seems weird. Not that I wouldn't have invited you into my bathroom, but like
I feel
it's
like
so bad that like I don't know where.
It's an ensuite, so I don't think I've ever been into your like ensuite bathroom and your. Which
I don't know why people would,
but like I feel like I should.
Well,
like I'm like what does that mean for our friendship that I haven't seen your ensuite bathroom?
Well, you don't want to. I'm not exaggerating, folks, when I tell you that I don't know that it had been. I think it was from it's either from the 60s or the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how old this guy is. Like this bathroom, this guy. This
is it a he?
It's a he. It's this man who lives in my bed now.
Yeah.
It is so bad. It not just wallpaper, but also a floral border wallpaper. Like, guys, really, really tragic bathroom. The smallest shower you can possibly imagine with like the shower insert, not even just a terrible bathroom. Anyway, we've been wanting to redo it for so long, and finally was able to find a contractor to come in and do it. And I can't even tell you the moment that they took down, like when they take everything down and gut it, and then it's like nothing but the studs, and I was like, this is better. Like I already feel better. Like there's nothing in there, but at least it's gone.
Yeah, that's funny.
It was like such a wonderful day that terrible bathroom was gone. So we still don't have a bathroom. It's still in the process, but I know that it's going to be coming in the next however long. And it just, oh gosh, it was just, like I love our house, and we've done a lot of work to improve different parts of our house. We finished the basement. We added a patio, yada, yada, yada. But it was always just like, oh, but then there's that bathroom. And especially a bathroom that you use every single day. And for a while, I was like, it doesn't matter. No one, even our good friends haven't seen it. It's fine.
Even Katie hasn't seen it.
But then you just get to that point where you're like, no, this is so bad that like we need to do something. So anyway, we have the sweetest contractor working on it, and I'm just really excited.
Well, I'm excited. When are you guys going to be finished?
We don't know. It was supposed to be a week. You know how that goes.
Oh, yeah. Now it's like a month.
It's Thursday, and they're like, probably won't be this week. Yeah. But I don't even care. It could take a month. And I'm like, at least I know we have another bathroom very close we can use, so it's fine. Yeah, we're excited.
Okay, good. I can't wait to see.
Lots of house progress for us here.
House projects.
Yeah. We are old. This is what excites us now.
We're like, whoa, these house projects. Tile. Okay, well, have a great week, guys. Thanks for visiting.
Yeah.
Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye. Anchor Moms is a Sinclair podcast produced out of WLOS in Asheville. We're your hosts, Katie Killen and Karen Zakalak. Anchor Moms is edited by Matthew Yates.
For more information on the topics discussed in this episode and to stay up to date on future episodes, follow us on Instagram @AnchorMoms.
You can follow Anchor Moms on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Know a parent who could benefit from this week's Anchor Moms episode? Your recommendations help our show to grow, so spread the word.